Hey, what's going on, vinyl community? It is Tone. I'm back for some more vinyl finds for the month of March. And as we started last month, I'm going to be doing old and new, older stuff, newer stuff. I'll explain that one more time. So anything after 2000, I'll consider something that's new, and anything that's a release before that, even if it was a reissue, will be, older vinyl. And normally the old is going to be, pre-owned stuff for the most part. And the new will be, new releases, things that I bought that were, not pre-owned for the most part. Anyway, so I want to get into it. I have a small stack to go through. I got a couple really special records, about 2 or 3 really nice jazz records to show at the end. But everything in here is pretty cool. So let's get started. The first one I got from an auction. And this is a band that was on MCA. They only did one album. The band is called Lifestyle. And it's a, Lifestyle is I'll use the word disco tinged because of some of the orchestration and instrumentation. But again, if I had to compare, if you guys watch my videos, I compare a lot to other groups, just so you get a better idea, groups that you may be more familiar with. So Lifestyle, it's a 5-member ensemble. They were on the MCA Rainbow label. This album was 1977. On MCA Rainbow label, it was they're actually on Rollers Productions, and that was kind of like an imprint under MCA, but it did come out on the MCA Rainbow label. Bands I would liken them to: Tavares. Who else? God, who else would I liken them to? Tavares. Well, you get it. It's a soul record with, instrumentation from that's kind of period correct for 1977. So you could call it a disco record, but not disco like Casey and the Sunshine Band. Although Casey and the Sunshine Band was pretty fantastic, to be honest. But more like, heavy soul tinged sound with some disco arrangements. How about that? Strings and whatnot. Excellent record. Lifestyle, 1977 on MCA Records. Excellent copy. The next one I picked up is a later Roberta Flack record. This is Roberta Flack Oasis. This is 1988, and it is on Atlantic. It doesn't have a traditional 80s pop R&B sound whatsoever. So what I mean by 80s pop R&B, Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, Kool and the Gang, from the 80s, not the 70s. It doesn't sound like that. It does sound contemporary for its time period, but it's more of, her vocal arrangements and her vocal melodies are pretty true to her common thumbprint. So she sounds like Roberta Flack from 72, 75, 77. But the instrumentation is sort of period correct for the late 80s, but more in a smooth jazz, contemporary jazz style format. Definitely not pop R&B. So it's actually a really good record. It's a good record. I mean, if you like the stuff that like Bicho Feo shows on his channel, the Cheap Heats, this would kind of fall into that. I mean, it's a $5 record, $6 record. And if you find it, in good condition, like really good condition, maybe $7-8, it's really worth it. If you're a Roberta Flack fan, I'd put it into the collection, no doubt. I like it a lot. So, next one I picked up. I had the CD for quite a while. I was never able to find a copy of this that I approved of. It was always really ringwear beaten. Vinyl was okay at best at times. I could never just find that even balance of something I liked until I came across this one. I think I got this one at maybe Record Surplus here, and that's the Sunfighter album. Paul Kantner and Grace Slick. And if you're not familiar with this Kantner Slick album, Sunfighter, it's definitely set apart from mostly anything that Jefferson Airplane did, before this. And so this is, they're in a relationship here. They're together. And they're doing an album together, like a Buckingham Nicks type of a thing. So, it's got that folky, that psych folk. You can't really brand the entire album. It goes in and out of different style formats. Folky psych, singer-songwriter, to some harder blues rock folky stuff, to that West Coast Bay Area country rock, but with a little bit more brashness to it, a little harder on the guitars, just a little bit. It's really a good record. Even some of the stuff that I hear on here even reminds me of some of the stuff that you can hear on the Buckingham Nicks album, even though that album didn't, come out till like maybe 73, 2 years later. So this is great. I've loved it for a long time. I hadn't listened to the CD for a while, and then when I found this copy, I started listening to the album again, and it's fantastic. If you don't have it, pick it up. Sunfighter, Paul Kantner and Grace Slick, 1971 on Grunt. This next one, never had a copy. I'd seen it here and there. I just never picked it up. Finally picked it up. I believe I picked this up at Record Surplus as well here in LA. And that's the debut album by Livingston Taylor. The brother of James. So this is James's younger brother. Yeah, his younger brother. And it really is an absolutely fantastic album. Do they sound alike? Yeah, they sound alike. Livingston has a little bit higher tonality on his vocal register. Just a little bit. But really, unless you're into that type of thing and listening for those things, you really aren't going to be able to tell that there's that much of a difference between their vocals. This is 1970 technically it's on Adco, but he was signed to Capricorn. So Adco and Capricorn were kind of doing a thing together at the time. He signed to Capricorn and they put it out on Adco, which was kind of strange. But this album is fantastic. If you are a fan of Jim Croce, I do hear a lot of Jim Croce in here. I don't know if he listened to a lot of Jim or if he was mostly influenced by his brother. He started years before this, but this was his first bona fide record deal. It's a really good record. Livingston Taylor, self-titled, 1970 on Atco Capricorn. Get it. It's really good. I love it. I was happy I picked it up. Next one. This one is a fantastic surprise. I came across, and maybe I'll show the 7-inch single one day. But I was able to pick up, I was actually able to hear on a compact disc compilation of British pop psych recording artists. this particular artist. And the song that was on this particular CD compilation is called, oh God, I have it. It was only done on a test pressing. It's called Goodbye. Oh God, Sweet Something Hill Lane. My mind is just over there right now. Anyway, I'll link that original song. And when I heard that song, I fell in love with the artist. I had no knowledge of this artist whatsoever. I'm sure in the UK they do. I know you're saying show the record already. Show the record. So the artist name is Shadell, and the album is called Shadell Number 1. This is his only full length. I think it's his only full length. Fantastic. Unbelievably great artist. He was an Australian singer-songwriter, moved to the UK and launched his music career there. I don't even know how to describe him. So, like, he's just a really amazing songwriter, and there is a pop psych tinge to almost the entire album. But the entire album does not, each song does not sound like the other ones. It has a really great array of sound in terms of the songwriting, the style, the song structures, the melodies. He's really a fantastic songwriter. Again, people in the UK will probably be a lot more familiar with Shadell. So yeah, Shadell Number 1, 1970 on United Artists. Fantastic record. Fantastic record. You probably aren't going to be able to find it in store. I highly doubt it. Look it up online and see if you can grab a copy. Again, I will link a song or two down below, and you will know whether or not it's something that you might be into. The next thing was a gift from somebody who I do some work with in terms of music buying and music selling and collecting. A friend of mine, older gentleman, who bought this album. I didn't have it. I knew about the album, didn't even own the compact disc album, never owned the vinyl. And it's a fantastic record. Of course, I had listened to it online before, but this was his copy that he said, hey, I'm sending you something. I found a better copy. I'm sending you my original copy that I purchased when the album first came out. I bought it within the first week. So this is, and I checked the Matrix ID. It is a first pressing. It's an A stamper, super early. He bought it brand new, and it still kind of looks brand new. And that's the Blues Magoos. Just amazing. Psychedelic Lollipop, 1966 on Mercury Records. It is just an amazing record. Didn't own it. And when he sent it to me and he said, I found a better copy, first pressing. And this thing is like, this is immaculate. This covers like VG Plus at least, and the vinyl's EX on its way to near mint. So I don't know what the heck he found, but whatever he found was better than this. I'm so glad he sent this to me and that I have a copy of this now. Amazing Hammond B3 driven psych rock album from the mid-60s. Early psych rock album. I mean, just fantastic. It's not an album that hasn't been talked about. It's not like I'm showing you guys anything that you don't know about. But hey, I was really happy to finally add this to my library. So, next one. Ramsey Lewis, the piano player, 1970 on Cadet. Totally different than anything that you would be used to Ramsey Lewis doing in the later 70s, which was more soul, jazz, funk, fusion-based, or anything in the 60s that he did with his trio, which was, it was post-bop stuff. So this is something really different, but it's actually, it was a pleasant surprise. Call this a I wouldn't even call it cool jazz because it's just not straight ahead jazz of any sort. It's more along the lines of, I guess maybe pop soul in an instrumental realm. So he's doing jazz pop soul. Let's say that if he was backing up Dionne Warwick or Lou Rawls, that's what this is. So you can throw Lou Rawls vocals on this and it would totally fit. You can throw Dionne Warwick's vocals on here and it would absolutely fit perfectly. That's the kind of album this is, but instrumental. And it really shocked me. It's a really good record. So if you like that stuff, which a lot of people do in terms of those artists I just mentioned, but if you want to try something that is not vocal based and sounds like that, pick it up. 1970 on Cadet Records, Ramsey Lewis, the piano player. I really like it, so I'm glad I picked it up. Next one, man, I love this record. It ended up being my favorite out of all of the Sonny Stitt records that I own. I won this in auction. It's a VG Plus on the cover, at least on its way to EX. Spine is absolutely legible, no splits, no tears, no nothing. And that is the Sunny Side of Stitt. 1960, and it is on the original Roost label. The vinyl is minimum VG Plus EX. I mean, it's just beautiful. So there's that Roost, Royal Roost. It's the stereo version, not the mono version. They came out the same year, obviously. And really, really great, cool jazz post-bop offering. Absolutely fantastic. I have maybe 6 or 7 of his pressings or of his records. All originals. I love him. I think he's underrated. I always thought he was underrated. And this happens to be my favorite. I'm glad I picked it up. I got a really good deal on it. You know, if you go online and you get something in this condition, the stereo release, original issue, first, second pressing, whatever, it's anywhere between a $25 to $35 record. I won it. I think I won it for like 20 something bucks. And it's in fantastic shape. So, Sunny Side of Stitt, 1960, stereo pressing on Roost Records. Absolutely fantastic. The last 2 records I want to show you are 2 records that kind of go together. They are jazz records. They're later jazz records. I believe the first one was put out in 1990, and I think Volume 2 was put out in 93. Mike Garson is a piano player who's worked with everyone from Rod Stewart to David Bowie to Smashing Pumpkins to St. Vincent, 9 Inch Nails. I mean, he's played and arranged for everybody. But he, as himself, he is a straight ahead jazz musician. Why are these records? I'll show you the records first. The records are titled the Oxnard Sessions. This is Oxnard Sessions Volume 1. Take a look at the graphic on there. It's a bull or a cow behind the piano. And then here's the back of the bull behind the same piano. And this is Volume 2. Oxnard Sessions Volume 2. Single LP gatefold on both of them. Why are these so special? Well, Oxnard is a suburban city within the greater Los Angeles area. It is it's the second to the most northern city in North LA. So LA County, if you're on the coast, on the beach, you have Malibu, and then LA County changes to Ventura County, and you have Oxnard. So it goes Malibu, and then Oxnard is just north of Malibu on the ocean. I grew up in Oxnard. I was born here in Metro Los Angeles, here in the San Fernando Valley, and grew up most of my life in North LA in Oxnard on the beach. And these were recorded at the Oxnard Performing Arts Center, which is a pretty large performing arts facility. I've seen everybody from Zapp and Roger to Eric B. and Rakim to several traveling symphonies to Al Jarreau to several comedians. I've seen a lot of performances there. It slowed down for a long time, and it was just purchased by Canyon Club Concerts. For those of you here in the LA area who or even in Las Vegas who have heard of the Canyon Club started in Agoura, California, which is 15, maybe 20 minutes from Oxnard. It's right before Calabasas, which is the border, or actually it's right before, it's the last part of LA County before you get into Ventura County, inland more. And there was the Canyon Club, which is kind of like a house of blues. Tons and tons of great performances. Well, they expanded and they started to expand out like the House of Blues. And they just recently purchased the Oxnard Performing Arts Center, and they have a lot of great stuff coming. It's a pretty big facility. It's a small amphitheater. And these were recorded live there. No audience at all. When you hear any type of encouraging vocals underneath the music, it's the other band members encouraging the other band members while they're performing. Unbelievable. Mike Garson on piano, Brian Bromberg on acoustic bass, Billy Mintz on drums, Rick Zuniger on electric guitar, Bob Shepard on alto saxophone, and Bob Summers on trumpet. Bob Summers I'm very familiar with, and I believe it's the same exact players, on Volume 2, recorded later. Absolutely amazing. Volume 1 is an amazing post-bop record. Amazing post-bop record. I can't even tell you how good this album is. It is a reference recording, so it is considered an audiophile pressing. It is on Reference Recording Records out of San Francisco. Really hard album to find. You can try to find them. It is also pressed on compact disc. I have both compact discs and both vinyl LPs. These really held very, close to my heart. And when I picked them up and started listening, actually I picked Volume 1 up at a library. And I was like, wow, the Oxnard Sessions, Mike Garson. I didn't know he did jazz. I mean, I'd known him from, I think, David Bowie. And unbelievable. I was able to find the vinyl records at a decent price, not super cheap, but a fair price. And I picked both of them up from the same seller who had both. I think I got them in Florida. Oxnard Sessions Volume 1, Volume 2, Mike Garson, fantastic. Volume 1, fantastic. A post-bop offering. Volume 2 is also post-bop, getting into a little bit of cool jazz and also a little bit of improvisational, classically tinged jazz piano a la Keith Jarrett on Volume 2. A little bit of it. Fantastic. Really happy I picked these up. So if you want to try searching these out and you want to see if you can get a copy of each or one or the other, I would highly, highly recommend these records. Some of the best jazz recordings that I own. Honestly. Very happy I found these, and I've actually been waiting to share these with you guys. So I'm glad I was able to do that. That's it for right now. I'll be back a little bit later on in the month, probably towards the end of the month, in regards to newer finds that I'm trying to catch up on showing for, we'll call them for March. And that's about it. So thanks, guys. I hope I didn't rush too fast through and skip anything. I don't think I did. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks again for hanging out. As always, God bless you guys. Peace. Bye.